We're doing a little impromptu video and setting up the tripod in some adverse conditions. I'm out in the snow. We've got about 6 to 8 inches of crusty snow here. Not the most ideal conditions to be doing this, but we're going to see how it goes. This MyMet tripod is a segment 7 version, 7 segment version that we'll be setting up today. It has 3 guylines we'll attach to the legs, and the top of the tripod is just over 15 feet. We've got the segments sitting in the snow, so there's snow contamination in this, and this is a toolless assembly except for the tension of the guylines. And we'll proceed with attaching the feet. There are quick release buttons. That lock in place. We'll do that on all 3 legs. And I'm going to elevate each of the legs to the topmost position. These are adjustable legs, and so we can accommodate some uneven ground and adjust the height somewhat of the tripod. The objective in this tripod design is to provide a very field serviceable piece of equipment that doesn't require any significant tooling to assemble and utilize. The hub is now ready to mount any equipment. We call this the hub with each of the leg sockets on it. This centerpiece is the mast. This now can be extended by inserting the segments from the bottom. Each of the segments are aligned, have a pin connection, so as you orient any equipment you orient in this position on the top of the mast, such as a wind sensor, will maintain that orientation as you raise the mast. At the top here we have a loose triangular piece. Pull this off a second. This triangular piece has 3 holes in it. That is used for the guylines. So the guylines, we'll attach those at this stage. They are pre-assembled with a loop on the top. That loop goes through the hole in the spreader and just drops over the top of the mast. The advantage of the clips over crimped ends is that it can be reconfigured in the field. If you break a cable, then it's just a matter of reconfiguring the tripod, adjusting the cable length, and reattaching the clips. If we were using crimped ends on this, then it would reduce the flexibility in the setup. If you wanted to move from a cable anchored to the legs to a stake anchored guy line, then it would require a different length. This accommodates that. What we're also going to do at this point is, just for ease in assembly later, we're going to slip the ends over the cable, or over the tripod legs. This can also be done later in the process. I'm just taking advantage of the unstaked legs at this point. At this point, with any equipment you have mounted on the hub, the cables, the tripod could be staked to the ground or leveled first, and then staked to the ground. The stakes are simple 18 inches rebar with a washer welded to the end, something you can easily manufacture yourself or buy it from the MyMet website when you purchase the tripod. The holes in the holes in the tripod, there are 4 large holes that can accommodate the stakes, as well as 4 smaller holes that can be used for screws, depending on how you need to mount the tripod, whether it's a roof mount or on the ground. Okay, next step is to insert the mast segments. We got a little snow here, so we'll see how the ice does. Pull a locking pin. We'll set that right on the bottom spreader. Align the push pin and press the quick release pin in, and you've got one segment in place. We'll do the same thing for these others too, and the last one. insert the quick release pin. And we're done. Our 15-foot tripod is taken to the full height. The next step is to tension the guy lines. Now you'll notice I have not staked this. It's important if you're, especially if you're using the guy lines to the and fastening the guy lines to the tripod legs, that the legs be staked at this point or before. If you tension the guy lines without the stakes, then it'll tend to spread the legs, and you won't get good solid tension on the guy lines. So the quick release pin is a nice little convenient place to attach the guy lines. A loop of wire just goes around the pin, and that forms the lower anchor for each of the guy lines. At this point I'm going to remove my gloves so I can work with these small nuts and wrench. There are two standard cable clips on each of the ends. These are just finger tight. The ones on the top should be pre-tightened when you receive your tripod kit. These nuts, when these nuts are just finger tight, just barely finger tight, it allows you to slide the cable, yet it stays pretty well tensioned. And do a couple of turns of the nuts on the clips. And I'm going to hold off on this lower one until we're all done. Okay, now with these, I'm going to slide the lower clips all the way to the bottom before I tighten those. Serves two purposes. One, it adds just a little bit more tension on the cable. And two, it holds the loop around the adjustment pin secure. Slide the clip to the bottom. With the final clip fastened, all the guy lines are tensioned. Tripod would be normally staked to the ground. This completes the assembly of the 7-segment tripod. The top is just over 15 feet. This tripod also comes in another configuration with 10 segments. The segments here for the legs and the mast are identical and can be interchanged. So if, in case of field problems, repairs, the segments can be swapped out and the tripod reconfigured. Again, the only tool that's required is a small wrench for the wire clips. The 10 segment has one advantage also of not only additional segments for interchangeability and repairs and service, but also they can be attached to the legs. Putting two segments on the legs instead of one raises the hub to about this elevation. This gives you some additional flexibility in spanning obstacles such as rocks, shrubs, fences, that type of thing. Elevates the equipment up a little bit higher so it's less accessible. And the other advantage with the 10 segment is you can configure it as a 7 segment and have the additional segments to accommodate any slopes. That completes the demonstration, and please check out the user manual on the website and give us a call if you have any questions.